During Part 1 of this summative assessment, you demonstrated the ability to create 4 different asymmetrical motifs. During Part 2, you will transfer one of your motifs to your clay plate, repeating it to create a radially balanced composition. Step 1. Prepare a 1/4 inch thick circular slab. Remember, you will want to stretch the length and width of your slab so that it is slightly larger than the plate you have chosen for your mold. Use 1/4 inch spacers to help you establish the final even thickness of your slab. Frequently check the slab's height and width against your plate. This will help you know which direction the clay needs to stretch. Rotate and flip the slab to help you stretch out the clay with your rolling pin. If your dowel is too short to fit on top of your spacers, you can improvise like I am here using a cylindrical hairspray can. Cutting away excess clay and moving your rolling pin over both spacers will help you create an accurate, even slab thickness. Compress and smooth both sides of the slab. Air bubbles can be popped, pressed down, and filled with plastic clay, followed by smoothing and compressing with a rib. Place your plate upside down over the slab and carefully cut out a circle. Make sure to hold your knife so that you are cutting perpendicular to your work surface and not at an angle. Carefully, so as not to distort and stretch the circular slab, remove it from the plate and place it on a clean, flat surface. Gently round both the front and back edges with your finger pads. Step 2. Prepare the plate mold. Cut or tear paper strips to line the mold. Remember, the paper will act as a barrier that keeps the clay from sticking to the mold. Dip each strip in water and squeegee off the excess. Attach and overlap the paper strips onto the inside of the mold. Carefully cut or tear away extra paper extending out from the edges of the mold. Then carefully lay the circular slab onto the mold. Use a slightly damp sponge to remove unintentional marks from the clay's surface. Avoid overworking the clay in order to maintain an even 1/4 inch thickness from the center to the rim. Step 3. Create a spare paper template. Use a window or your iPad as a light table to help you trace a replica of your original template. Here, I am using the Word app and a bright screen to complete the step. You will use this spare paper template when applying high areas of relief in Part 3 of this summative assignment. Label and store your spare template in a safe place. Step 4. Trace the motif on the back of the template. Flip the original template over to the back. Using your light table, trace the motif so that it appears backwards. Having the motif visible on both the front and back of the paper will give you the option to create a kaleidoscope-like radial design for your plate. Step 5. Choose from 2 radially balanced options. Option 1 is a radially balanced composition created by a 4-point rotation. For this option, you will keep the same side of the paper facing upward while you rotate it 90 degrees 4 times around the center of the plate. Option 2 is a radially balanced composition created by a 4-point rotation with a mirrored flip. For this option, you will flip your paper template from front to back while you rotate it 90 degrees 4 times around the center. Unlike option 1, you will get a mirrored kaleidoscope-like effect. Step 6. Transfer the motif to create a radially balanced composition. For this section of the video, I will demonstrate both options 1 and 2 for creating a radially balanced composition. Let's look at option 1 first, a radially balanced composition created with a 4-point rotation. First, carefully align the paper motif with the edge of the plate. Because you will use the same paper motif 4 times to create a 4-point rotation around the plate's center, you will want to gently draw over the motif with a very dull pencil to avoid poking or tearing the paper. Take your time and check your work for completion. Before picking up the paper to rotate the motif, take the time to align the straight edges with the previous transfer. When the transfer is complete, adjust and connect the lines as needed so that one motif flows into the next. Now, let's look at option 2, a radially balanced composition created using a 4-point rotation with a mirrored flip. Just like in option 1, carefully align the paper motif with the edge of the plate and trace over the lines with a very dull pencil. Unlike option 1, option 2 requires that you flip the paper template over with each 90-degree rotation. Take the time to align the straight edges with the previous transfer. If done correctly, you will see a symmetrically balanced image after every 90-degree turn. The final radial design will look similar to a mirrored kaleidoscope. Again, notice the difference between option 1 and option 2. Step 7. Document your work. Set up and document your work like the photo example here. Include the plate, the original motif, the spare motif, and a piece of paper with your name, block, and date. If you chose option 1, also include the words 4-point rotation. If you chose option 2, include the words 4-point rotation with mirror. Step 8. Wrap and store your work. Wrap and store your work in an airtight bag and place somewhere safe until you are ready to move on to part 3 of this summative assignment. I can't wait to see which radial design you transfer. Get to claying!